Okay, so without any further ado, would you please give a very warm welcome to Sian Clifford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. First of all, congratulations on 11 Emmy nominations, including both of you. Phoebe, you have more personally than some shows, which is terrific, a lot of shows. But anyway, I guess I want to begin by asking you about your relationship. I know that it's been a number of years going back to RADA, when you first met, and from what I've been able to gather, that was like a complicated period for both of you in different ways. Phoebe, I think you've said that you went in there with a lot of confidence and left without much, and Sian, I think it was a few years process just getting there. Why did you two hit it off once you crossed paths there?
We had to get the same tube home after our first day. So that was the initiation with each other. And we both realised we lived at the very end of the Central line, and so we had a good half hour together. And I think we both just said after the first day, well, that was weird, wasn't it? That was the kind of bonding moment between the two of us. But then, yeah, it was just kind of, when you just make a friend like that, just really quickly, and it's just, and it's been like that ever since.
Yeah.
And, well, please.
No, just it's funny, like the friendships from that time have gone in and out, but this one's just gone the distance, guys.
One of many things that changed, I guess, in the years after you left there was that at that time, Sian, you only knew her as an actress, right? Phoebe, for people who haven't heard the story, can you just share how that evolved into being a multi-hyphenate?
I've been someone to ask me that question for so long. Oh my God. Well, in some ways it feels like it took forever, and then suddenly, it happens like that. And I left drama school, couldn't get arrested, neither of us could really, couldn't get a job, begging for it. And then started a theatre company with Vicky Jones, who directed the first play of Fleabag. And we started a theatre company together, and we started producing new writing nights. And so we were inviting writers to come and write 10-minute pieces of theatre for us. And each time there was a new goal for the writer. They had to try and make an audience fall in love with the character, or decide a criminal is not guilty, or all these kind of like crazy challenges for writers. And we produced them for a couple of years, and sort of accidentally gave ourselves a really amazing writing workshop without realising. And then I started writing for the DryWrite nights when a writer would drop out or there was something missing from the night. And then, the first night, I wrote a really rude 10-minute play. And I gave myself a false name, and I was in it. And it went down really well. I remember looking over at Jones at the other side of the room, at Vicky, and being like, ooh. This is new. And then so was kind of writing a little bit on the side, and then a friend of mine asked me to write a 10 minutes to a piece of stand-up storytelling, which ended up being the first 10 minutes of Fleabag. And then a really drunk girl came up to me and asked me, and said to after she saw that, and just said, you should really take that to Edinburgh. That was really funny. And I want to hear more about this chick. And I was like, yeah, okay. And she was like, I'm serious. Okay. I saw her like 3 years later, and she had no recollection of this. I was like, it's all because of you. She was like, who are you? And then our producer from DryWrite at the time just booked the theatre in Edinburgh, and so I had a few months to write the play, so obviously put it off for a long time. And so 2 weeks, then quickly panicked and wrote it, and then the BBC came to see that, and then we made a pilot, and then Amazon came on board, and the rest is history.
Well, yeah, it's an amazing journey. And Sian, I think that, I guess I want to ask, what was your first realization that your friend had become a great writer as well? And then how, I think the story of how you came to be cast in this is pretty memorable as well.
So if I wasn't working, I'd be doing some horrible temp job, and you'd be in an office on the other side of London doing, we'd both be pretending to, I don't know, do something, and to get paid for it. And we sort of, I just remember you started to send me little bits and bobs of writing and be like, what do you think of this? And just like with the Fleabag scripts, I was always just sort of astonished by how brilliant it was and how amazingly well it hung together. I think the first big coherent scene I saw was when you and Vicky did that thing at with the Oxford School of Drama, and I saw a whole bunch of scenes that you had written, and I was just like, oh my god. And I'd witnessed Phoebe being so stifled and ignored at drama school, which enraged me, and so I really was like, oh yeah, keep going. And I was part of DryWrite. I performed at loads of them, and if I wasn't, then I was there watching and cheering on, and it was extraordinary. I can't overstate what they created. I mean, DryWrite is now a production company that is produced Fleabag. It's and it started in this horrible abandoned. I mean, it was an abandoned pub. I mean, there was nothing.
It was a hole in the floor and a dead owl on an aeroplane seat.
Is it still standing? Can we go back and get photographs of it? Because we should do a photo shoot in there because
Was it Claire and Emmy?
Yes. Oh, okay. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? So, Phoebe in 2009 sent me this script. I think it was it for Nabokov, Present Tense, which was a theatre company that we would work with often. We knew the guys that were running it at the time, and they would. You would take a newspaper heading, right, and you would read an article, whatever, and you would write a scene that was inspired by that. And Phoebe wrote a piece called Use Your Vote, and it was about two girls in a lecture hall, and two sisters, and one was called Claire, and one was called Emmy. And Phoebe sent me an email saying, who do you want to play? And I was like, Claire. She's like, that's happy you'd say that. And Emmy wasn't Fleabag, but Claire was Claire. And initially I didn't even perform that with you. I performed that with another actress, brilliant actress, Becky Oldfield, and we did that a few times. And then eventually, probably because Vicky Jones was just like, for God's sake, just get in your own thing. And there's a lot of stigma about performing your own work and whatever. And we did it, and it was just extraordinary, actually.
It was actually the scene that's in the pilot of the first season where they put their hands up in the lecture hall.
Yeah. So
that survived from the very, very beginning right into that.
Yeah. And again, I'll say there's a lot more of Claire from that than there is of the other incarnation of this other character. And that's where that was that was 10 years ago. And
then as the actual as this show came together, you've spoken about the fact that there was some resistance to you being cast just because you hadn't done much in TV.
Famous.
Yeah, not famous yet. Phoebe, how did those conversations go with, I would guess, was BBC?
I've actually never heard this.
Yeah.
They wanted her, I resisted. It was originally commissioned by BBC Feeds, which is basically they give you £10 and they sort of don't look at you when you make something. And so on some level, they were sort of they start off with you can cast who you like, as long as it's these familiar faces from comedy. And so we were sort of casting it, and I knew it had to be Sian. There was no one else in the world who could play the character other than Sian, and they listened. I mean, it wasn't like it was totally closed door. They were like, okay, that's really interesting, but they were really pushing one or two other actresses who I knew of and who were great, but it was Sian. It was just always Sian. And when you have to get it across the line to very busy commissioners who are dealing with massive comedy shows, and this is the BBC thing, they're sort of just fill it with people who were going to make people watch it. And then we set up a self-tape for the two of us to show the chemistry between us. And we did it in a kind of like sneaky room somewhere, and then we sent that to them, and then they were like, "Oh, okay. we get it."
I thought that was like awful. I remember phoning you that night saying, "Listen, it's fine if I don't get it." That was just terrible. It was terrible. And also, what I didn't realise is the person that was operating the camera in the room was one of our producers, and thank God I did not know. That was Lydia Hansen.
Who do you think she was?
I thought she was just, so we were in a casting agent's office.
Oh yeah.
So I assumed she was someone that worked there, and I had no idea, thank God, because what was funny is I think her witnessing our interaction making that tape, and we spent an hour over it, and everyone else in the corridor was just left outside who got 10 minutes. But I had no idea that there were people waiting. But I remember, I mean, I would have been mortified, but I think her seeing us engage and sort of be like, how do we get this right, I think probably contributed to that.
I believe also that you both have sisters, and actually, Phoebe, your sister does the music on the show, right? I think there may be similarities between your relationships with your sisters in some ways. Was there something with a haircut in the Waller-Bridge family?
Who are you even talking to? Yeah, actually, really just before I started filming the first series, I got a haircut. It's pretty much this haircut, and the one that you see. But it was I was expecting it to be a little longer, and I called my sister, basically like a similar phone conversation. I was like, oh god, my life's over. And so I was kind of like saying, all this terrible things happened. And she said, what's happened? And I said, I've got a terrible haircut. And she went, this is like such a love letter to my sister, because she went, oh my god, I'll be there in 2 seconds. Like anyone else would laugh at you and go, get over yourself. She's like, I'll bring anything we need. I'm coming. And then like got to the doorbell ringing. She's like, opens the door. She's like, it's fine. It's it's gorgeous. It's gonna be fine. It's short. But it is short. It's like it's short, but it's gonna be good. And then we kind of watched, and then she sort of calmed me down about it. And then that became like the haircut. But I did tell my hairdresser. I went back recently, Uzi, and he was like, episode 5.
And Sean, did you actually get the pencil haircut, or was that VFX on
I wish.
Fleabag?
No, that was a wig.
Okay.
That between me and Phoebe and our brilliant hair and makeup designer.
Right. And did you answer?
Little words.
Yeah.
We came up with that. Yeah.
And then I wanted to also ask you. You've talked about yours. You have an interesting sort of sister that may have helped to shape your performance.
Yeah, I mean, well, my sister's a massive inspiration to me. She's really, it's sort of something I haven't really acknowledged until I become an adult, how much she sort of has pursued her heart, and it's probably really subconsciously inspired me. She's a gallerist, my sister, but when she was in her mid-20s, she owned a house. She was a teacher, and she had a boyfriend of 8 years, and she literally dropped everything and left the country and went and moved abroad and has never come back. Comes in since, actually. So she's definitely been a huge inspiration to me. And I have jokingly said to her, big mistake, that I based some things on Claire and her, and she's like, fuck off. It's like, but yeah, there's definitely there are bits and pieces, but she is a fictional character.
Yes. Well, so on a I guess more serious level, before even season 1, did you guys talk to each other about what these sisters' lives would have been like before they lost their mother, before Fleabag's friend has what happens to her? Just because, is it important to know where this started from to understand how they got to where they got?
Tell the truth. No. Sometimes you just know with someone, and actually you do what's useful, I think, as an actor. You just naturally do what's useful to the parts, and Claire and Fleabag talking about their mother or their history or any of that shit would just never have happened. And so we never really did, and probably just because that's what's useful as an actor. But also, we've known each other for so long. Sian's seen my like scribbles like turning into Fleabag and seen the play, and we sort of talked around the play for a really long time. But I don't know, we never actually sat down.
It was one of the things that we discovered in hindsight, which particularly when a show like does well and gets a bit of a purchase, you're able to sort of forget all the challenges that came with making it, and you go, oh, and then you suddenly look back, and it wasn't until after we were well out the other side of season 1 coming out that we were like, we never discussed that. Like it just happened, and I guess that was the whole thing that Phoebe was fighting for when she said, cast Sian because you'll get something for free, and I think that's it. It's that sisterhood.
And so, just to, if anyone hasn't heard, you wrote the first season expecting that was the only season. You've been fairly busy since then. There's another little show, Killing Eve, people might have heard about. Not to mention playing Troy and all kinds of other interesting activities. You didn't hear? Yes. But, so what was it why were you, most shows aren't just one season, why were you initially opposed to going beyond that, and what convinced you to reconsider?
It was based on a play, and the play had an ending, and I like endings. I think endings are really important, and I think I also believe that because I felt like her arc had a beginning, a middle, and end, her relationship with the camera had a beginning, a middle, and end, and in the beginning of the first season, she brings the camera in and the audience in going, come in, I promise it's going to be hilarious. And by the end she's like, fuck all, it's awful. And like, that's the journey that they go on, which is like, I let you in too close and now you know my deepest secret, and now my front and my persona isn't going to work with you anymore. And so she doesn't look at the camera anymore after she confesses. And so first of all, it was the relationship with the camera has to be new, and the relationship with the audience needs to be new. She has to have a new persona, she has to be finding something new out. And then really it was Harry Bradbeer, our director, who's so passionate. And he kept saying, and I was saying, I'm worried that I've told the most interesting part of this woman's story in her life. And he said, but do you think she has more to learn? And it was such a startling question, because of course she does. And he said the most important, and afterwards when the whole thing was made, he was like, the lesson she had to learn was to love herself. And I was like, whoa, oh, I'm not ever going to say that in a Q&A. But he was fucking right. And it's true, he's like, the moment a character learns to love themselves, and then essentially that character arc kind of is complete for someone who started off loathing themselves. And that was really the moment I was like, okay. And then that little trick of the camera, of the priest seeing the camera, when I had the idea that somebody saw the camera and that meant seeing her, that's when I got really excited that that's the thing she doesn't have control over anymore.
That's so smart. Sian, when you got the scripts for season 2, and you see where this has gone, probably the least likely place after season 1 that essentially, where's Fleabag least likely to end up in? It's in a church and, finding religion in a sense briefly for whatever reasons. What did you make of it? And what was in store for your character?
Oh, I loved it. I loved every second of it, and it changed a lot whilst we were making it. But I've got an amazing photo that I sent to Phoebe after I read 1 to 3, and it's literally visible, massive, raindrop tears, which was the first sort of incarnation of the priest seeing the camera. And I just, that scene, that fox scene, I call it, that is my favourite scene in the whole piece. I think it's so beautiful and so beautifully performed by Phoebe and Andrew. It's just magnetic. And I don't know, I love it. I feel like the 3rd episode of anything is when you start to feel safe and settle in. And I felt like that's when people go, oh, okay, I know what season 2 is. I know where I am. And then it just pulls the rug, and that's what's so exciting about Phoebe's writing and working with her is you can never predict where she's going to take the characters, and even though you might have hopes and aspirations for where they might end up, and I did want Claire and Martin to end their relationship, but I could never have manifested a more perfect ending than the one that Phoebe came up with, and it's really, really remarkable to witness your sort of growth as a performer and an actor and creator. But it blows my mind, and even being like knowing each other so intimately, she still surprises me every day, and it was such a joy on that set. I can't tell you.
One last thing for me, and then we're going to do just a rapid fire of a few audience questions. But the first season, people who got it. There was a very passionate following, but there weren't 11 Emmy nominations. What do you make of what has happened, I guess starting on July 16th when you guys, I don't know where you were, but for us, we woke up and got all this news in LA, to just see in 1 year, the first season was 3 years ago, but to see where this has all gone. All 5 women on the show, Phoebe writing, directing, producing, and acting.
Well,
There is a director, but, okay, so just, how did you process it?
We're still in it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the best feeling in the world, guys. Also, the first series was like a character piece, and it was based on a singular character piece, and it was based on a one-woman show, so it was very focused on Fleabag. And the relief of going into the second one, knowing that, and I'm not exaggerating when I say one of the main reasons I was excited about writing the second one was to show more of what Sian can do. Because having been at drama school with her, and also her range is so insane. No, but it's not even like insane. Like she was playing I swear you were playing like a 4-foot assassin at drama school, and I don't know how you did that. But she plays like a really, really extraordinary character actress, and you don't really get to see actresses do that very often, especially through their 20s, and it's all about being like, but Sian at drama school was just this kaleidoscope of different things. So, and then also having such amazing emotional depth, and so knowing that with this season going okay, this one's, we're going to throw Claire up, and Sian's going to catch her and take her there, and then that feeling, and then knowing you can do that with so many other actors because you've got such great actors, and that they've all got a moment to sing. So you hear so many more perspectives, and I think that's probably why so many more people related to it.
No, I mean, just we're blown away by the response. I'm still stuck to the ceiling. It's I was really hoping. What was important to me was that Phoebe and the show got recognised, but even then, I just totally surrendered it to the universe, and even when I didn't know what time it was getting announced, but I got a good luck text from one of our producers, and I was like, yeah, I'm tell me my work. and I was just really, really feigning, and literally I actually started to get butterflies. I had no idea what time it was happening, but when it was happening, I did start to feel really weird, and I got up, I was pacing back and forth, the whole thing. Went on Twitter, and I saw that Phoebe had been nominated. It was at the top, and I was like, oh, fuck. And then Googled it, went onto the Independent website, and I saw that it was happening live, and that my category hadn't been announced, and I was like, oh no, switch it up. That's a dark hole to go down. So I came straight away from that, and I actually went and meditated because I'm into that, and I'm like Claire, and I just let go of it, and I was like, it doesn't matter, whatever happens, whatever, let's see. And then my agent rang, and that's how I found out.
Nice. All right, so we are going to do just one of these rapid fire. It's from Eric Scott Cooper, or Eric and Scott Cooper, I don't know. For Phoebe, will you ever reveal Fleabag's actual name? I've been recently referring to you as Phoebe, but I don't know if that's Will we ever find out?
I love it. That name was Phoebe. Making her life easier by calling her Fleabag. No, I won't. Sorry.
And I guess I'll just add the obvious follow-up. You're going to the West End back with the one-woman version of this. Is that truly the end?
I mean, yeah, it is. Because I like endings. But also, I think the show came to a natural end. That's where it wanted to end, and the wave goodbye, and the thank you to the camera, and the shake of the head, and like don't follow me, and all that stuff that felt so right in the moment, and even those performances, like 3 takes of that, and each one was just like yes, it's a goodbye more than anything else, and a thank you. And then the play. I mean, there's a line in it when I say I'm 26 years old, so that had to sell my day. I think it's time to go to the next chapter. So I'm so grateful for the character.
And then she turns like this. Maybe not.
I have a fantasy of bringing Fleabag back when I'm 50.
Yeah.
And then we'll find out what she's done.
Thank you guys.